Okay, let's dive in. A fight between two brothers over a lost fishhook.
Yeah, I mean, on the surface, it seems like just a family squabble, a bit of ancient sibling rivalry.
Exactly. Like, you can imagine this playing out anywhere, anytime. Petty arguments over borrowed stuff.
But that's where you have to pivot instantly, because this story, it's way more than that. It's actually a foundational political document.
A political document from a lost fishhook.
Absolutely. This tale, recorded in Japan's oldest chronicles, it's the mythic charter. It justifies the divine lineage of the emperors and, crucially, the subjugation of rival clans back in the 8th century.
Wow. Okay, so that's a heavy lift for one little hook. We're talking about the Kojiki and the Nihon Shoki here, right? The big two early chronicles.
That's them, commissioned by the imperial court. They needed an origin story, a sacred history.
And this story of Hoori, the hunter, and Hoderi, the fisherman, is central to that. So our mission today is basically to unpack how this trip to an undersea kingdom becomes the bedrock of imperial power.
Precisely. How myth becomes statecraft.
All right, let's get into the brothers. Hoderi, the older one, he's the master fisherman, Umisashi, luck of the sea. And Hoori, the younger, he's the top hunter, Yamasashi, luck of the mountains. This division seems pretty fundamental. Sea versus land.
It is a perfect balance, really, for survival in that world. But then Hoori gets this idea. Let's swap tools. Hook for bow.
And predictably, perhaps, it goes badly for both of them, the chronicles say.
Right, neither can use the other's tool effectively. But the real crisis hits when Hoori is out fishing with his brother's hook and loses it. Drops it right in the ocean.
Hoderi's precious fishhook. And this isn't just, oops, sorry, bro. Hoderi is furious.
Absolutely furious. And Hoori tries to make it right. He takes his own sword, this incredibly valuable item, shatters it, and forges, 1,000 new hooks?
1,000? That's a serious apology. But Hoderi says no, absolutely not. Only the original will do. Why? What's so special about that specific hook?
It's not the metal, you see. That hook was Hoderi's luck, his sachi. It was the physical manifestation of his innate fortune, his connection to the sea's bounty.
Ah, I see. So it wasn't just a tool, it was him, his power.
Exactly. It couldn't be replicated by human hands, not even 1,000 times over. Demanding the original was Hoderi basically saying, your mountain luck, Yamasachi, is worthless compared to my sea luck, Umisachi. That's a deep challenge.
Okay, so Hoori is completely stuck, humiliated, he's weeping on the beach, and then this deity shows up. Shuitsuchi.
Yeah, Shuitsuchi, the god of tides.
Yeah.
A wise old kami. He sees Hori's distress and offers a way out. A pretty radical one.
Which is?
A journey down to the bottom of the sea, to Ryuguju, the palace and the sea god Watatsumi.
Just sends him down there. How?
Well, Shuitsuchi makes him this special vessel. The Kojiki says it's a small, tightly woven boat or basket. The Nihon Shoki adds a detail, suggesting it might have been sealed, almost like a submersible.
Wow. Okay, so he travels down into this magical undersea world. What happens when he gets there?
He finds the palace, shimmering and incredible. And there's a well outside with a katsura tree next to it. He climbs the tree.
All right.
And sees the sea god's daughter, Princess Toyotama Hime, the luxuriant pearl princess.
And she sees him. How does the sea god react to this guy showing up?
Watatsumi welcomes him almost immediately.
Yeah.
Recognizes his lineage.
Why? Hoori is the younger brother, the one who messed up. Why would the Dragon King favor him?
Because Watatsumi sees Hori's higher connection, his heavenly ancestry, which actually outranks Hoderi's connection to the sea itself. So Watatsumi arranges for Hoori and Toyotama Hime to marry.
Just like that.
Pretty much. And Hoori lives there for 3 years in total bliss, forgetting all about the lost hook, temporarily at least. He needed that time to become part of the sea god's family.
But you can't forget forever. Eventually, he remembers why he came.
Yes, the sorrow returns. He finally confesses to Watatsumi about the lost hook.
And the sea god, being the sea god, can presumably sort this out.
Oh, absolutely. He summons all the fish in the sea, every single one.
Like a fish roll call?
Kind of. And they find the culprit. A sea bream, a tai, has the hook stuck in its throat. It's been giving the poor fish a sore throat this whole time.
Okay, so hook recovered. Problem solved.
Hook recovered, yes. But Watatsumi knows Hoori needs more than just the hook to go back. He needs power, real power.
This is where the jewels come in.
Exactly. Watatsumi gives him 2 magical orbs, the Shiu Mitsutama, the tide-flowing jewel, and the Shiu Hirutama, the tide-ebbing jewel.
It's tide flowing and tide ebbing, so control over the tides themselves.
Total control, absolute dominion over the sea's power. Something Hoderi, the supposed luck of the sea, never had. Hoori is returning not as an equal, but as a superior force.
Right, so he goes back, finds Hoderi, gives him the hook, and Hoderi is still angry.
Still resentful. He attacks Hoori almost immediately.
Big mistake, presumably.
Huge mistake. Hoori pulls out the tide-flowing jewel. The sea rises fast. It engulfs Hoderi. He's drowning, choking.
Wow, that's intense.
He begs for mercy. Hoori then uses the tide-ebbing jewel. The water recedes just enough to save him, but then
He does it again.
he repeats it, drowning him, saving him, over and over. It's not just magic, it's psychological torture. It's breaking Hoderi's spirit, showing him the absolute futility of resisting this new divine power.
Total domination.
Completely. Hoderi finally understands. His Sachi is nothing compared to these divine weapons. He submits, utterly humbled, and he makes a vow
Which is?
that he and all his descendants will serve Hoori's lineage forever.
For all eternity. That's the political justification sealed right there.
That's the subjugation myth locked in. The hierarchy is established by divine force.
So Hoori wins. He has the power, the lineage, the subservient brother. Story over.
Not quite. There's a final act, and it's crucial for the imperial line. Toyotama Hime's wife comes ashore. She's pregnant.
Right, with the future imperial ancestor.
Exactly. She asks Hoori to build a birthing hut, but specifically one with the roof not yet thatched with reeds. And she makes him promise, swear a solemn oath, do not look at her while she's giving birth.
Ah, the classic don't look taboo. You just know he's gonna look.
It's almost inevitable in these stories, isn't it? His curiosity, maybe the same trait that made him want to swap tools, gets the better of him. He peeks inside the hut.
And what does he see?
Not his beautiful wife. He sees a monstrous wani, sometimes translated as a sea dragon, sometimes a crocodile, her true, primal, divine form, writhing in the pain of labor.
Whoa. Okay, so he broke the vow. Consequences.
Huge consequences. Toyotama Hime is deeply shamed, not just because he saw her, but because he violated the sacred boundary, the mystery of her divinity.
So she leaves.
She abandons the newborn baby, whose name is Ugaya Fukiezu, unfinished cormorant feather thatching, a name reflecting the unfinished hut. She returns to the sea and seals the path between her world and the human world, forever.
Sealed forever. Wow. So the connection to the raw divine power is severed.
It has to be. The imperial line needs to be established on Earth, ruled by humans, even if divinely descended. The raw power of the sea gods is too much, too untamable. But that baby, Ugaya Fukiezu,
He's the link.
he's the crucial link. He's raised by his aunt, Toyotama Hime's sister, Tamiori Hime. And Ugaya Fukiezu grows up to father Kamiyamato Iwarabiko no Mikoto,
Who becomes?
the man we know as Emperor Jimmu, the legendary first emperor of Japan.
So there it is. The divine marriage, the magical conquest, the broken taboo, all leading directly to the foundation of the imperial house.
Exactly. And you have to remember when this was all being written down. The Nara period, 710 to 794 CE.
What was going on then? Why was the story so important at that specific time?
It was all about state building,
Yeah.
serious centralization. The Yamato court was trying to transform Japan from, a collection of powerful clans into a unified state with a strong central government.
Like building a permanent capital, setting up bureaucracy.
Precisely. They were implementing the Rivalry system.
Which was, exactly. Laws.
It was a whole legal and administrative code, heavily modeled on Tang Dynasty China. It defined everything: land ownership, taxes, court ranks, laws. It was about projecting power, both internally to control the clans and externally to places like China and Korea.
So they needed a history, a justification for why they should be in charge.
Divine mandate, which is why they commissioned these chronicles, the Kojiki in 712.
Which was more for the home audience.
Yeah, internal consumption. One clear narrative tracing the imperial line back to the gods, then the Nihon Shoki in 720,
That one was different.
written in classical Chinese, aimed outwards towards the continent. It presented itself as more scholarly, often giving multiple versions of a myth. One writing says this, to look rigorous.
But ultimately serving the same goal.
Same ideological purpose, proving the Yamato emperors had the divine right to rule.
And this Hoori and Hoderi story fits perfectly into that, especially the political allegory part. Hoderi isn't just a mythical figure.
No, the chronicles are explicit. Hoderi is identified as the ancestor of the Hayato people.
The Hayato. Who were they?
A powerful group, maybe tribal federation, in southern Kyushu, modern-day Miyazaki and Kagoshima prefectures. They fiercely resisted Yamato control for a long time.
Ah, so Hoderi losing, being humiliated, vowing eternal servitude.
It's a direct message. It provides the divine, unarguable reason why the Hayato must be subordinate to the imperial Yamato line. Their defeat wasn't just military, it was cosmically ordained.
Their fate was sealed by Hoori's tied jewels. Wow. Okay, let's talk more about those symbols. The fishhook first. We said it's sachi, luck. Why did it have to be found stuck in a fish's throat?
Good question. It shows Hoderi's luck. His sachi was actually causing a problem, a sickness within the sea god's realm. When Watatsumi removes it, it's like he's purifying the ocean, getting rid of this inferior, troublesome luck.
Removing Hoderi's influence, essentially.
Right, and replacing it with Hoori's, empowered by the tide jewels, the Shumatatama and Chiyohiratama.
Which represent total control over Hoderi's domain, the sea.
Absolute control. It's also interesting because some scholars see these jewels as an early example of Shinto mythology, incorporating Buddhist ideas, specifically the Huju, the wish-fulfilling jewel. It shows the synthesis happening at the time.
And then there's the Wani, the sea dragon or crocodile form of Toyotama Hime, her true form.
It's not meant to be just scary, I think. It represents her raw, untamed divinity, the primal power of the ocean itself. A power Hoori could access through marriage, but couldn't ultimately live side by side with.
His peaking broke that connection, created the separation needed for a human dynasty.
Exactly. The profane gaze shatters the sacred intimacy. It establishes the necessary boundary.
What's incredible is how tangible this all still feels in Japan, especially down in Kyushu, the Hayato heartland.
Oh, absolutely. You can go to Udo Jingu Shrine. It's dramatically set in a cave right by the sea.
And that's supposedly the site of the birthing hut.
That's the tradition. People still go there today to pray for safe childbirth. And there are these rocks, the Uchichiiwa, the breast rocks, the drip water. Legend says it's the sacred milk Toyotama Hime left for her son. People collect it for blessings.
That's amazing, a direct physical connection back to the myth.
And there's Kagoshima Shrine, dedicated to Hoori and Toyotama Hime, claiming to be near his earthly palace. Plus, modern stuff too.
Like what?
Well, the story was featured in that popular kids anime, Folk Tales from Japan, so generations know it. And JR Kyushu, the railway company, runs a tourist train along the coast there.
Don't tell me.
Called the Umisachi Yamasachi.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it runs along the Nichiren coast, right through the mythical landscape, and they even narrate the legend on board. Ancient myth driving modern tourism.
So it's completely woven into the fabric of the place, from state foundation to tourist trains.
It really is. We've traced this journey from, a simple spat over a tool, all the way to this grand act of state building, divine right, political subjugation, and the permanent separation of the human and divine worlds.
And it all hinges on that one moment of human fallibility. Hoori peeking into the hut, he gets the empire, but he loses the connection to the divine power source.
That's the profound cost, isn't it? The price of sovereignty. It makes you wonder about how ancient societies viewed power. Why did gaining ultimate authority necessitate this kind of separation, this loss of intimacy with the sacred, that moment of curiosity of breaking the taboo? It shatters one world, but founds another. A human empire built on a divine loss.
Definitely something to think about, a paradox at the very root of the imperial line.